Hello students, in my last video I explained chapter 1 the portrait of a lady by Khushwant Singh in Hornbill, and today in this video I am going to summarize this chapter. Okay, so let us begin the summary of the chapter. The chapter The Portrait of a Lady is the story of the author and his grandmother. The grandmother was an old with a wrinkled face. The author had always seen her like this for the past 20 years. She appeared to be so old that he could not imagine her being young and pretty. Someone who had husband. She was short, fat, and slightly bent. The author had seen his grandmother's portrait and grandfather's portrait. The author had seen his grandfather's portrait, an old man with a turban and long white beard covering his chest. To the author, his grandfather didn't seem like a man who could have a wife and children, but someone who could have lots of grandchildren. His grandmother used to move around the house in spotless white, with her one hand resting on her waist and her other hand counting the beads of rosary. In the initial days, the author and his grandmother had a good relationship. She used to wake him up and get him ready for school. She used to pack the things required by him for the day and walked him to school every day. She used to visit the temple that was attached to the school. She had a routine of reading the scriptures. The author, along with other children, sat on the veranda singing alphabets and morning prayers. They both used to come back home together with the stray dogs roaming around them, and his grandmother would carry the stale chapatis to feed them. Soon, the parents of the author uh, who went to the city to settle in and called them. As they reached the city, his relationship with his grandmother took a turn. Though they shared the same room, their bond grew apart. He started going to an English medium school. She no longer accompanied him to his school, and there was no longer stray dogs who roamed around them while walking back home. She, however, used to ask him about his day and about what he had learned in the school. She didn't understand anything, as everything was in another language, everything was in English, so she could not understand, okay, what was taught in his school. So as the days passed, he grew older and soon went to university. He had to go to university for further studies. He had his own room, and this made their relationship sour. She stopped talking to everyone and spent the whole day sitting at her spinning wheel, reciting prayers and moving beads of rosary with one hand. However, she loved feeding sparrows. in the veranda at dawn, breaking bread into pieces and feeding it to the birds. Okay, it was her daily routine. The birds would sit on her legs, her head, some even on the shoulder. Soon, the author decided to go to abroad for further studies. She came to the railway station to leave him off. She was not sentimental, continuously recited her prayers, her mind lost in the prayers, and she kissed him on the forehead. After 5 years, when he returned home, she was there to receive. Okay, and was still same as she had been 5 years ago. She clasped within her arms and didn't say a word. She still used to feed sparrows. One day she didn't recite her prayer but instead collected the women of the neighborhood, got a drum and started singing. The next morning she was ill with mild fever. The doctor said that there was nothing to worry about. She was sure that her end was near. She did not want to waste her time talking to anyone in the family anymore, but spent her last hours in reciting her prayers, laying on the bed. She died. Okay, so her body lay on the bed, lifeless, as they prepared for her funeral. They saw all the sparrows sitting in the veranda around her mourning the death. Okay, it is the summary of the chapter. Now let us discuss answers to all the questions. Understanding the text. Mention the three phases of author's relationship with his grandmother before he left the country to study abroad. So you have to mention the three phases of the author's relationship with his grandmother before he left the country to study abroad. Okay, so how you can answer what was the three phase. So first one, when he was living in the village with his grandmother, and second when they shifted to city, and the third one when author went to university. So you have to describe these three phases. Okay, so let us begin how you will be writing your answer to this question. The three phases of the author's relationship with his grandmother before he left the country to study abroad are as follows. First phase, the period of his early childhood where he used to live with her in the village. So first phase, the period of his early childhood when he used to live with her in the village, with his grandmother in the village. His grandmother used to wake him up and get him ready for school. They both would walk to school together and come back home together. They had a good friendship with each other. So it was the first phase when they used to live in the village. What was the second phase? When they shifted to city. So second phase, in this phase the author and and his grandmother shifted to the city. As the author's parents settled well in the city, although they shared the same room, this was the turning point of their friendship. Now they saw less of each other. So it is the second phase. What was the third phase? So third phase, when the author went to university, he was given a room of his own. So this made her relationship, her friendship bond weaker, as the common link between them, the same room snapped, and she became quieter and private and kept the spinning wheel all day long. She would feed the sparrows so once a day, and this was the only thing that made her happy now. So this was the third phase. Now question number third, you have to mention uh, three ways in which author's grandmother spent her days after second one, three reasons, sorry, look at the second one. Second one, we have done first one, now second one. Three reasons why the author's grandmother was disturbed when he started going to city school. So what was the three reason which made her unhappy, which made her disturbed when Khushwant Singh started going to the city school? First, he was taught English and science, which she could not understand. There were no teachings of religious book. Okay, they were not taking any moral lesson there. Okay, and also when author informed that he was taught music. When author informed her that he was taught music, so she got disturbed. According to her, music was made for beggars and low rank people and harlots. Okay, so how you will be writing your answer to this question? So when the author used to live in the village with her, they both had a good friendship. She used to wake him up, got him ready, and would also accompany him to school. So all this changed when they moved to the city. The grandmother was disturbed for the following reason. So what were the reason? So which we have just now mentioned. First one, she no longer could help him in his lesson as he started going to the English medium school. This became a barrier for her. Second one, there were no teachings about God and the scriptures. Okay, and third one, she didn't like him taking the music lessons. According to her, music was only for prostitutes, beggars, and harlots. So these are the reason. Because of that, author's grandmother was disturbed when he started going to city school. Okay, students. So now let us move on to third question. Third question is three ways in which the author's grandmother spent her days after he grew up. So after he grew up, three ways in which the author's grandmother spent her days after he grew up. So what were the three ways in which she used to spend her days when narrator grew up? His grandmother changed a lot since he grew up. She would spend her day at the spinning wheel. She used to chant her prayers, and she used to feed the sparrows. So when narrator grew up, and narrator as well as his grandmother, they went to settle in the city, as their parents were already settled in there. They called them. So here the bondage of their friendship broke, and now his mother used to remain busy in spinning the wheel, chanting the prayers, and feeding the sparrows. Okay. Fourth one, the odd way in which the author's grandmother behaved just before she died. So, in odd way in which author's mother behaved just before she died. So, as usually she used to feed the sparrows, and she used to spin the wheel. But that day, what did she do? She didn't pray in the evening before dying. She collected the women from the neighborhood and started singing homecoming of the warriors with the help of the drum. The next morning, when she fell ill, she said her end was near. She started praying peacefully while laying on her bed. She refused to talk to anyone during her last hours. Okay, so this was the odd. These were the odd ways in which the author's grandmother behaved just before she died. Okay, now fifth one, the way in which the sparrows expressed their sorrow when the author's grandmother died. So, the way in which the sparrows expressed their sorrow, expressed the mourning, okay, when the author's grandmother died. Okay, so the grandmother used to feed the sparrows in her veranda each day. She developed a special relationship with them. When she died, thousands of sparrows expressed their sorrow by sitting in a scattered way around her in the veranda. They didn't chirp, and there was complete silence. The author's mother tried to feed them by breaking the bread and throwing it in front of them, but they didn't eat anything. So, when the family carried grandmother's corpse, dead body, so they all flew away quietly. They did not touch the single piece of bread, which was crumbed and which was broken and threw in front of them, but they did not touch. So in this way the sparrows expressed their sorrow when the author's grandmother died. Okay, students, now talking about the text, talk to your partner about the following. The author's grandmother was a religious person. What are the different ways in which we come to know this? So, the author's mother was a religious person. How do we know this? Okay. So, in which way we come to know this? Okay. How can you prove that she was a religious lady? So we can give proof. When a narrator went to school, she was also going to school with him, and while narrator was studying alphabets and learning morning prayers in the school, and then she was sitting in the temple, and she used to read scriptures, and she used to telling the beads of rosary. So all these things, okay, tells us that she was a religious lady. Okay, so how you will be writing your answer? So when she lived in the village with the author, she used to sing prayers in a monotonous sound while getting him ready each morning. She used to walk the author to his school and then visit the temple attached to the school every day. She would sit and read scriptures. Later, when they moved to the city, she would carry the beads of the rosary with her all the time. She would continuously chant her prayers, and her hand remained busy in the telling the beads. When the author went to study at the university, she went into seclusion. It is and spend her whole day in the chanting prayers. So all these incident event show that the author's grandmother was a religious lady or person. Okay. Describe the changing relationship between the author and his grandmother. Did their feelings for each other change? So changing relationship you have to describe here. So you can describe that when they lived in the village, so she used to get the author ready for school. She used to give him all the necessary things when he was going to school. She also used to go to school with him, and when they shifted to city, he was studying in an English medium school, so she could not teach him. Thus gradually the bondage of their friendship going towards the end, and finally when the narrator joined university, he was given a separate room. Okay, so this way you can answer this question. So how you people will be writing the answer? So in the early days, they both shared a good bond. She would get him ready for school, accompany him, and would come back with him later in the day. She would help him with his studies and would teach him prayers by singing in a monotonous tone every morning. When they moved to the city, their relationship was strained. He started going to an English medium school. She would no longer accompany him to the school or could not help him with the lessons. She didn't like his new school as they never taught him about God and scriptures. Later, when he started taking music lessons, she disapproved of it as she thought that music was only for beggars and harlots. She stopped talking to him afterwards and would spend her day alone while chanting prayers. So when the author went to university and then abroad, their bond weakened. She would spin the wheel and whole day, and you used to chant her prayers. She accepted the seclusion. No, here did their feelings for each other change? So you will be writing no, their feelings for each other didn't change, but during the time a distance developed between them. So this is the answer to this question. Now next one is, would you agree that the author's grandmother was a person strong in character? If yes, give instances that show this. Okay, so would you agree, as the writer says, my mother was not pretty but she was beautiful, so it shows that the author's grandmother was a person strong in character. So how would you prove it? So would you agree that the author's grandmother was a person strong in character? If yes, then give the instances. Okay, so yes, when narrator was admitted in an English medium school, he was not taught the scriptures, he was not taught the prayers. Okay, so all these things made her disturbed, so it shows that she was a person of strong character. Okay, so how you will be writing the answer? So you will start with yes, the grandmother was a strong person in character. The instances to show this are as follows. She had her own thoughts about schools and their teachings. She considered learning scriptures a better thing than studying science or English. She didn't like music, as according to her, music was a low level. Music was made for low rank people, low level people. When the author went to the university in Sackleson, she would spin the wheel, chant prayers, tell beads, and feed breadcrumbs to the sparrows. And next, when she sang the homecoming of the warriors for the hours and didn't stop even when her family tried a million times. Okay, and next, during her last time, she didn't want to waste any time talking to anyone, so she lay silently on her bed and chanted her prayers till she died. So these are some lines which proves that the grandmother had a strong character. She was a person strong in character. You can add more lines, more examples you can give from the chapter. Okay, so what I am discussing, you need not write the exact answer. So only this way we are revising the chapter once again. You can frame your own answer in your own words, better answer, creative answer. Okay, now you are capable of doing it. You are in practice from your 9th class. Okay, so next question is have you known someone like the author's grandmother? Do you feel the same sense of loss with regard to someone whom you have loved and lost? So this answer will be written as per your own creativity, as per your own experience. Okay, so use your own experience and answer this question. So next is thinking about the language. So which language do you think the author and his grandmother used while talking to each other? So as Khushwant Singh belongs to Punjab, so we hope that she might be speaking Punjabi, because Punjabi belongs to Punjab state. Okay, the author and his grandmother used to talk to each other in their mother tongue. As the author belongs to Punjab state, so they would talk in Punjabi language. Okay, next question is which language do you use to talk to elderly relatives in your family? So this answer will be given by you. Third one, how would you say dilapidated drum in your language? So what would you say? So it is jarjar drum, tota fota drum. So टूटा हुआ ढोल in Hindi. So you know, and एक पुराना ढोल, फटा हुआ ढोल, whatever you use, you can use. Okay, so can you think a song or a poem in your language that talks of homecoming? So answer to this question also will be given by you. So this is all about the chapter. So revise the chapter, read the chapter. In the next video I will explain chapter 2 of Hornbill. Okay students, thank you for watching the video.